psycho! I got
I am completely 100% resisting the urge to start the pod by saying,
I am vengeance.
Okay.
I have to do it again, or the Christian Bale one.
I just want to start by saying, I never really had a problem with how Christian Bale spoke as Batman. I thought it was fine.
Because you have a terrible take.
I didn't have a problem with how Michael Keaton spoke. I don't have a problem with how Robert Pattinson did it. I liked what they did with Affleck, which is the voice changer. Like that actually made more sense to me than anything. But yeah, so I'll say all that to say
we'll get into it.
This is the Batman pod. This is the Batpod.
The Batpod.
The Batpod. Get into it. We are about to get into it. And so today we're going to start with the Batman review, likes, dislikes, all that good shit. Then we're going to rank our favorite Batman, or what we think are the best 10 Batman films. And then after that, we'll go with the best 5 Batman actors. And then, yeah, that'll be it. So I want to start with Hot Take James.
This ain't a hot take.
Hot Take James. We got Reese on the... Actually, no, we got Reese on the pod. Our guest this week. So we got Reese on the pod. And so Reese has his own podcast. And I'll allow you to plug your own podcast right after I go to you. So just start by telling us how you felt about the Batman.
Well, me? Or James?
Yeah.
You, Reese.
Nah, I fucking loved it. I loved it, dog. As a fan of the comic books and of the video games, I'm such a fan. When I saw the Iceberg Lounge, I was extremely excited. When I saw that there was a super exaggerated backstory for what's her name? Fucking Catwoman or Penguin or nobody else. It wasn't extremely exaggerated. When I saw the respect that Batman got in year 2, that was really dope to me. So I knew that we were getting Detective Batman, like I said, as a fan of video games, you played Detective Batman, through the shit. I thought it was dope. I thought it was really dope. I thought that it was the most surreal. I thought it was the most true to life Batman that we had so far. I know people make the argument for, the Dark Knight. There's no argument there. If you have 1A, 1B, 1B, 1A, doesn't matter to me. But it was really dope. They're both great stories to tell. It set up a lot of really dope shit to tell in the future. So I thought it was tight.
I agree. I completely agree, especially on the part about, in my opinion, it was like the truest form of the Batman that we've gotten. Yeah. With all due respect to Nolan, I think, this is like definitely like he implemented somewhere like year 1 when he did Batman Begins. But this felt more year 1, even though it's year 2, it's like I can see, like, I felt the year 1, but he was still a good detective. Right. Like, I loved all of it. I'm not going to do my entire review yet, but now I want to go to Hot Take James.
Okay, cool. So,
Dark Knight, not Black Knight, remember.
I know. Hey, shut your big naughty.
You gotta get fucked up, bro. You gotta fucked up.
No. I made a Black Knight reference, so it's gonna keep.
No, he loves that movie.
He loves it. He's seen Black Knight a lot more times than he's ever seen the movie Heat. That's all you need to know.
That's true. Because I still haven't seen it. So look, here's the thing. I love Black Knight until I watch it again. Because I went back and I was looking at all the old movies. Some of these are like, what the fuck? But starting my experience with Batman, right? I decided to take my wife with me. Okay? Because it's going to movies. We ain't been in the movies forever. It's like a little date night. I'm married. We don't do shit. So here's something to do. So we went. Fam, I paid for a $20 nap for my wife. She hated it. She didn't make it through the previews, bro.
You can't do that, bro.
I'm sending you a legal Zoom. The divorce papers will be ready.
Listen, I'm telling you. I'm so good.
Can't do that, dog.
Fam, it was the worst. Look, but here's why that movie is so great because I still enjoyed it. Fam, I got somebody snoring right here. And then I got a row of badass kids in front of me, fam. Like it was like a black family. I was like, all right, respect. You shouldn't have brought them to this movie, but cool. And then they just sitting there like standing on the couches, like throwing popcorn and shit. I'm like, fam, what the fuck is y'all doing?
Did you go watch the Batman at Iverson Mall?
No. I went to the Hoffman. And I'm
oh yeah, Hoffman fell off.
But it's like $20-something per ticket. I'm like, fam, you paid all that money. It was a family of 5, fam. He paid all that money just to sit there and like watch them just like throw shit. I was like, oh, this is great. Like the movie's still good. It was a little dark, but I can see. Like my wife can't see really, so I think that's why she fell asleep.
She can't see.
She need glasses.
There's a lot of stuff that I need to unpack there. But
I know, but fam, the shit was funny, fam. Like I'm having
so many questions I have.
But wait, you can't judge the film off of that.
No, I really enjoyed the film still. That's what I'm saying. This movie was really great.
Right, okay. It's right up there with Black Knight for James, which is saying a lot, man.
And saying a lot. Black Knight again.
Wait, are we talking about Black Knight? Like
Martin Lawrence Black Knight. Yeah. Yes, it's the one you're thinking about.
Yep, that's why I said McNulty.
Right?
Yep.
Like this call came because of McNulty.
All because of McNulty.
My man can quote it.
No, we're not talking about the Martin.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hey, Reese stopped defending you immediately.
I don't want to be defended. I don't want to be defended. It is what it is. I watch.
No, it's not bad.
Movies.
Go ahead.
It's bad. Don't do that. It is bad. You gotta make me feel that good about it.
No, but you don't have to make me feel good if I don't care. Like it's cool.
That's the point. You should care.
No, but I don't.
Shit, bro.
So let it go. The movie was great. The movie was great. It was a little dark, not in terms of like the actual movie itself. I'm talking about like you can't see shit. A lot of people couldn't see shit. Like I have good vision, but
I didn't have that problem at all.
Well, a lot of people did. Like I seen a lot of people say that it was a little too dark. But other than that, like the shit was great. Like it was like you guys said, realistic. And I would see it again once it comes out on
it'll be on
services or something. Yep, I need that.
45 days. 45 days.
I can wait. I'm not risking COVID again.
COVID's over, by the way. If you didn't know, sorry. Don't want to be very bad news. COVID's
got your damn mind. All right.
Hey, we all got the Omarion. It's a wrap.
All right, K-Dot. I know you've been waiting because you know I want to go last.
No, I'm not letting you do this bullshit, bro. Come on, I'm not letting Keem.
I have a great view.
No.
What do you mean?
K-Dot, bring us home, man. Because I talked to Keem earlier on Twitter, and he said a bunch of bullshit.
I didn't say any bullshit. I didn't say anything, really.
Come on, man.
All right.
K-Dot, where you at?
So unlike James, my movie theater experience was phenomenal. The Alamo Draft House, where you go, you select your seats, and they got gourmet food and popcorn with real clarified butter. It's just an amazing experience. If they kick anyone out, their cell phones on or they're talking, it's just an amazing movie theater experience. Just no worries at all. Parking was very easy. Just walk right in, waltz in, just fucking matinee. It was an amazing time. So just saying, there's good ways and bad ways to go see a movie. Just putting that out there. It does matter, and it has an impact as far as the way that you will receive the movie. So with me in that exemplary, amazing setup that I was at, I fucking adored this movie through and throughout. Same thing to kind of what Reese is saying. The words he used, the word that I would use more is grounded. It's the most grounded Batman movie ever. And it's like, in the same way that people talk about the Christopher Nolan movies as being the gritty version, more realistic version of Batman, until you realize it's gritty and realistic for the year that it came out, but it is not gritty and realistic when you actually talk about gritty and realistic, right? Like
for 2008. and for 2010,
right? And you're thinking about that era of like what superhero movies and stuff are. Yeah, you're right. Dark Knight is extremely gritty compared to the other shit that was coming out around it, right? But this, if you were to tell me that David Fincher directed a good portion of this movie, I'd be like, okay. There's so many elements you're actually seeing like true filmmaking, and there's so many nods to so many different filmmakers as he's going through the movie. It was uncomfortable to watch at certain points. Like we should have gave the spoiler warning, but everybody knows you're fucking watching a Batman review, like the end when they're in Gotham Square, Garden, the place in from Madison Square Garden, and you have the shooters around. That was uncomfortable as fuck to watch because it felt so grounded in reality. Who in this day and age, after seeing what happened January 6th and the fucking truckers around the Beltway, couldn't think you'd have some asshole with a fucking live stream group that decide we're gonna go do this shit? It felt that real.
Some even dark web shit.
Dude, and the thing is that the other aspect that I think they capture better than maybe any other Batman ever was how terrifying Batman is. With that entire opening segment where just the idea of the criminals looking into the shadows and backing. Oh fuck! Is that motherfucker
James,
in there?
Wait, say that. James, did I not say that?
Yeah,
I talked to you earlier. That's what I said. Right?
They nailed it. They nailed
Matt
that
Reeves
part of it's terrifying.
Come on, bro.
It's
Matt
terrifying.
Reeves used the shadows as a character, bro.
Even when he does do the actual reveal with the assholes in the train platform, fucking with the guy, when you hear his footsteps and you're like, oh, this ain't just shadows, he's here. And you see the and he off rip, ain't talking, ain't doing none of bullshit. I'm gonna knock your ass completely, terrifyingly. Like even when the good guy who just got, don't hurt me, Batman. Don't hurt me, because the idea that Batman and who he is as far as a character in dealing with the rage that we know he has, and knowing that like he's a psychopath. Batman is a fucking psychopath, right? The idea in all the other movies is it's like two sides of the same coin. Is that you have maybe the Joker wants the same thing that Batman wants as far as taking down the power structures of the system, but they have these totally different ways of going about doing it, right? Whereas in this movie, you have Riddler actually thinking we're accomplices in this, guy. Like you're just as crazy as I am. Don't you see? You're just as crazy as I am. Like there's this element of just holy shit. And the detective aspect of it was probably better captured than any other live action movies that I've seen. It was so grounded in truth. It was really, really kind of terrifying. And that was dope. When they said that it was going to be like a horror movie, I was like, man, what the fuck are you talking about? Even my favorite scene in the movie is the chase scene between Batman and the Penguin.
Yeah.
And the reason it's my favorite scene isn't even all the shit that happens as it goes on. It's the 5 to 10 seconds of Penguin and everybody looking and hearing the car in the distance. That car's not cool. It's scary. It is fucking terrifying. If you see and it's almost like Darth Vader in the hallway in Rogue One. You have this relentless fucking force that will never quit. He's not gonna stop. He's gonna keep coming. He's gonna keep coming. Like Freddy Krueger, like Jason. He's gonna keep fucking coming. Dude, the movie was exemplary. It was exemplary.
Listen. I just want to add to that one thing. I'm not sure if you're done or not, but
I can keep going.
I'm in the market. So I think I told you guys I'm gonna get a new car at some point soon, probably within the next year or so. And I've been considering the like Hellcat for a while, and like I was kind of off it for a while. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do Hellcat. I'm gonna go Tesla. And then I was like, I saw
Tesla,
movie. I saw that movie, and I was like,
you know what? Fuck are you talking about?
Hellcat.
King. Look, all right. Let me explain something. All right, so when you get the car, right? If you get a Tesla, you're done.
Oh, I know.
You don't. There's a lot of shit you gotta do.
I'm gonna get both though. What I'm getting
first. James, wait, hold on, wait, James. What are you talking about?
You gotta mod your car. You can't just have it be normal.
Okay. I don't need to mod my cars.
No, you don't.
All right, so you're gonna have the same random
James,
tires?
buy your wife glasses. Focus on that. Focus on the car.
She has glasses, fucking. She left them shit at home. She left them at home.
What do you mean? Wait,
but
what do you mean?
I also like the soundtrack.
Okay.
Like, I played like Keem said, like, yeah, he's like, yeah, I play that shit in the morning. And I was laughing at him, and I saw the movie, and I was like, oh, okay. Nigga, I play that shit every day at work.
Hold on, the soundtrack to this movie?
Well, just the song, just the one song.
No, fuck no. I'm not doing it.
I have a classical music like playlist that's
unless my name is
long.
Brandon Lee and I'm about to do the Crow. I'm not playing this fucking sound.
Oh, no,
There's some
I play
emo shit
This is my alarm.
Or Hans Zimmer. If you're Hans Zimmer,
like trying to get inspiration for the next movie you're doing, like I get it, but this is some. It's like listen to Eminem loudly. You're fucking weird.
Attack the day. I attack. They say attack the seize the day. I attack the day. That Batman theme comes on, wakes me up at 6:30 a.m. I say I'm Batman. I woke up the other day. I said I'm Batman.
Wait? Hold on. Real fast. Can I offer an intervention to that shit, bro? Real fast, bro.
No, I don't want an intervention.
real fast. King. I'm not saying that you shouldn't tap into that energy, of course. But bruh, it's not Hans Zimmer. It's nothing classical. It's nothing that's. Well, hold on.
Yeah.
It's nothing diabolical either, bruh. It is dope. However, this is not gonna give you the real feel for what we've known from Batman for the past 30 years.
I think it's better than Hans Zimmer's score in all the Nolan films.
I'm not going that far, but I think motherfuckers can't be sleeping on Michael Giacchino. The motherfucker's a beast. I do listen to a lot of his music in like drive. I listen to a lot of film scores as I drive around and stuff. It makes great driving music depending on where you're at. Best score this last year. Don't look up. I don't want to hear shit from anybody. There's some like legit. I do agree. I'm just saying the vibe. I thought the soundtrack fit the vibe of the movie perfectly. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to have everybody think that I'm plotting on killing somebody because that's the vibe you get off.
Listen, as a fan of the video games, as a fan of the Arkham series, as a fan of Arkham Knight, Arkham City, what was the other one? Arkham Asylum, right? There was a tone that they captured that I thought was phenomenal. I'm not talking about the best Batman. I'm talking about the best Batman movie. There was something to be said of the shadows being used as a character, the darkness being used as a character. Batman was respect, all through the shit. Robert Pattinson, you can say what you want about him, whether he wants to work out for the role, he wants to do this and that. If you want to take it realistically, Bruce Wayne is not where Batman is not supposed to be somebody who's ultra buff, beating the shit out of people every night. That's not sustainable. You know what I mean? Bro, we're looking at this from a fresh standpoint. It's not Michael Keaton. It's not Val Kilmer. It's definitely not Danny Ocean. It's not fucking Christian Bale. You know what I mean? It's a new iteration of Batman that's phenomenal. It's fresh. It's something we've never seen before. It's done well. It's exercised to a T. Bruh, I hats off. Hats off to everybody that was involved. It was a different take on. Wait. Catwoman was not Michelle Pfeiffer. It certainly wasn't the other white girl. What was her name?
Anne Hathaway.
Princess Diaries.
Anne underrated, by the way. But
Anne Hathaway is a great actress. I dislike what they did with the character in that movie.
But she's not Catwoman, fam. Come on, she's not Selena Kyle.
No, she.
I mean, for you.
No, yeah, I'm not going.
There was no purpose. There was no purpose for her.
I want to keep cooking. Keem, have you given me your review yet?
No, I'm finna go ahead. All right, so I love the movie. I completely love the movie. I went to see it like 11:10 a.m. on Friday. And like, so it was perfect time, not a like packed theater at all. Just a few people. I saw it in IMAX as well, so I felt it. So for example, like when the chase scene happened, it was just, that shit was insane. I was like, that you could feel the energy. And speaking to kind of what Reese was like talking about, but I go a little bit deeper into it, is that one of the things that I liked most about this Batman movie is that Matt Reeves made Gotham a character. He made the actual city of Gotham a character in the same way that whatchamacallit made Baltimore a character in The Wire.
David Simon
made Baltimore a character in The Wire. He made Gotham. This is the best Gotham we've ever gotten.
It's
right?
up there.
Yep.
It's not. I'm not going that. It's up there.
Nolan's was Chicago.
No, it's up. No, it's number one. Hey,
it's up there.
It's number one.
There's only one Gotham I can say that I think I have over this, but I get what you guys are saying.
Okay. It's the best, and in my opinion, it's the best live action one we've got.
There you go.
Live action.
Live action we've got. It just didn't feel like Chicago, which was like what Nolan did. It wasn't just like old New York, which was more like Tim Burton. It kind of gave me vibes of a few different cities, which I appreciated. It was like Rome and like a little grungy New York also, with a little like Tokyo vibes as well. And I thought it was great because the scene that opens when him kind of snaking through the city and everything, it kind of reminded me of like at one point Blade Runner. I was like, oh, this is like kind of like Blade Runner. But it was
real fast. Ask you a question real fast.
Yeah.
Do you say that because of the amount of neon lights and the fluorescent lights that were there?
For the Tokyo, yes, it was the lights. It was shot with the lights and everything. I was like,
that's why I asked.
Yeah, I kind of see what they're going for with that. And then but yeah, like that entire like opening sequence was like, oh, this is perfect. Like I'm feeling this. And then the theme, you add the theme on top of that. You guys talked about, hearing him walk into that scene. Some people had a problem with it, in which they pointed out like that's not Batman. They were like, Batman's more stealthy. I'm like, I kind of get that. I get that complaint. I don't agree with it in terms of this, because I'm thinking year 2 early, he's not the ninja yet. I'm thinking that's my mindset. I'm like, okay, he's not going to be that yet. That's something he has to learn from. And so, but that was a point I saw a few people making on Twitter. But anyway, just going outside of that, I thought Paul was great as the Riddler. I thought Jeffrey Wright was great as Commissioner Gordon. I like that. Yeah. And they were both a little bit more year one close, in that they were both kind of naive in terms of like the police force and shit like that. Like Gordon was like kind of shocked when he saw like all the people were like kind of corrupt and everything. And like as far as like just like the entire movie, it was 2 hours and 45 minutes, which was like kind of like the same one time as like The Dark Knight Rises. But it was
256.
It's 256 with credits. And then like, and I think The Dark Knight Rises is 247, I want to say, with credits. So like they're similar in runtime. But I just thought that it was a great movie. It was a love letter to Batman, but also like I feel like it wasn't a fuck you to Nolan's films, but it was also like let me show you how to do this, son. And I was like, oh, okay. Because like after I rewatched The Dark Knight today, I was like, oh, no. He was like, I'm gonna do this better. Like,
yes.
Let me see if I had an example. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find my example. I had a lot of notes. I'm trying to find but anyway, there were like a few things that Nolan did that Reeves was like, okay, nice job, but this is what you really should have did. Mm-hmm. And like he just improved upon certain things. I'm sorry, it's not like
can I expand on that a little bit? Because I think the same thing. There were certain moments in the movies that were like, this is reminiscent of X that happens. And this is reminiscent of X that I've seen before, but seems like he elevated it. Like even you look at one of my also favorite scenes is the fight in the hallway, the dark hallway with the muzzle flashes.
Right.
And it reminded me kind of the not Nolan, but it reminded me of the Batman, the Batfleck, where he's going through the hall, which is a great scene. But it was like Matt Reeves said, "Oh, I can do this better. I can do this a little better." Or even at the end, where you're talking about like when we're in the top of the building, very reminiscent of him and Joker in the top of the skyscraper doing this, that, and the other. He's like, "Look, enough of all the bullshit. Let's get the story now. I'm gonna kick this bitch off this motherfucker, and let's go. Let's keep moving." Like, there's just certain aspects you're just kind of like, huh, it's kind of reminiscent of this. But Reeves is like, I'm gonna cut out the fluff. This is where I'm going with it. This is what I'm doing, and we're gonna keep it there. The chase scene. This to me was like it was a chase. Like So what Batman? There's usually a Batman chase. There's a chase scene usually happening in a Batman movie.
Always. It has to be.
He kept it grounded. Even when you're looking at like the complaints that people have as far as like the stealthiness of Batman, motherfucking Christian Bale was driving around in a tank. There's no stealthiness in that at all. Like there was an element of Batman basically saying, "I'm fucking here right now."
But
the entire way, right?
Real fast. Yep. There's never stealth in the Batman shit.
Oh, but there was in this movie.
Hold on, real fast. If you think about the first Batman, the shit with Michael Keaton, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not stealth. It's a fucking luxury limo outfitted to be the Batmobile, right? Yeah, you think about like the Val Kilmer shit, right? Same thing. It's a continuation of it. You think about the George Clooney shit, right? Same thing.
We're not gonna mention that one.
Understood. Well, when you no, and I'm with you. 98 was a bad year, but when you go to when you think about Christian Bale, like you said, it's a tank. It's not stealth at all. You know what I mean? Even the time they try to mask it and disguise it as stealth when they got to the Dark Knight, when he had the explodable Batmobile, the Bat Cycle, right? It's not that
fucking. See, your amount of something that actually pisses me off about Dark Knight, and I'm not.
I'm with you.
The physics on that scene don't make any fucking sense, and I don't know why we don't address it.
Batmobile was like electric.
No, so hold on.
But what I'm saying is, but even with that, right? There was never to this point this level of stealth. And like I said, you have to go to the games. You gotta go to the comics, right? If you played Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, you play Arkham Knight, those you learn true stealth with Batman. If you never read the comics, and the comics are so ingrained and they're so lengthy to where you maybe didn't do that. They're not as accessible. Right. I have the fucking Marvel app, right? I can go back and read any Marvel comic to 1950. With DC, it's not the same way. It's not as accessible. You don't know as the average fan. You as the average fan said, my Dark Knight introduction begins in 1992, Warner Brothers Studios.
I think there's a between saying like stealth compared to like the idea that Batman's almost ninja-like in the way that he kind of does the shadows and stuff like that.
But you don't even know that until you watch the Ninja versus Batman in the cartoon.
In some of the cartoons, but like Mask of the Phantasm, they mentioned that as far as like him being the ninja at all. But the thing is, I wanted to talk about when it came to that part of it.
Small, bro. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is, I wanted to say as far as what Keen was saying, as far as like the growth of this being year one.
No, of course.
But I think back to what I think back to is him break. What's the name of the club? Fucking the Ice.
The Iceberg Lounge.
The Iceberg Lounge.
Yeah.
He goes into the Iceberg Lounge 3 times, and every time it's different, and it's like an elevation, right? Yes. Like the first time he goes in, he's Batman, and they're basically like, "Man, fuck you, fuck off. We're not doing anything," and he just uses brute force. I'm busting up in the way. The second time he's Bruce Wayne
as Catwoman.
No, the second time he's Bruce Wayne, and they're basically like, "Oh shit, you're Bruce. Yeah, dude, come on in. You want to see the fucking Penguin? Be my guest." The third time around, he's like, "I'm not even doing any bullshit." He just sneaks by. You remember he uses kind of stealth to move. He opens the door, dude goes out, he locks motherfucker out, and just is slipping right in. And they're searching for him, they're doing whatever. And I even thought like that was a clever way in which you see Matt Reeves seeing how Batman's learning and adapting and realizing that there's certain things that he might have had to do, but there's a different way to do it. And
one quick addition to that, because that was one of the scenes where I was like, oh, he won up Nolan. Because if in the Dark Knight, he goes into the club to get Maroni.
Oh, the club scene. Absolutely. Yeah. Reeves is a better club scene. Easily.
Yeah.
But wait.
Completely.
Do you guys count the time where Catwoman went into the shit and she
with
was
the
his
eye thing? I'm not counting that as him sneaking in, but I get what you're saying.
You have to though.
I'm not counting it as him. I know I understand what you mean as far as like him working, but actually that brings up a good segue to another thing that I loved about this movie. Michelle Pfeiffer to me is Catwoman, also Eartha Kitt, but like, well, we could talk about that. But
no argument here.
The thing that I loved about this particular version of Selena Kyle, she's running a story that runs parallel to Batman. It's not even like I'm helping you or I need your help. There's so many times Batman's like in her way. Like, dude, get the fuck off. I have something I'm doing. And it's like a movie that kind of stands like she has that much agency, and not in some like fake woke bullshit way. It's like I'm doing my own thing. I have people that I need to protect. Right. I have a mission that I'm trying to accomplish. Can you please stay the fuck out of my way? No, if you want to link up, let's link up. But whatever.
And you know what? And I like that because that runs concurrent to the comic books, right? I have my own mission to do. Whatever you got to do is whatever you got to do. Like this is Selena saying to Batman, you got to do X, Y, Z, but I have to do A, B, C. Do your shit. I have to do this. If it helps me to help you, fine, I will, right? But without you doing this thing, I have my own mission. And I love that because, again, it runs concurrent to the video games, concurrent to the comic books. I think, and Matt Reeves said this straight up. He said, I played all the games. I played all the games. I read all the comic books in recent history. I was such a fan that he was a fan of these other things, you know what I mean, to bring these things to light. It helped open up the world. It helped bring some integrity, right? Because, fam, you know, one of the things that bothered me in the Nolan films, Bane is not a white boy. I'm sorry. I know
his Hispanic, not know that. Of Latin descent.
That's what I'm saying. Bane is not a white boy. So we don't have to interpret Bane in like this iconic voice with this English accent. You know what I'm saying? It's my man's of Latin descent. He's gonna deliver these lines, and anybody who, like I said, whoever read the comics, if you ever played the games, he has a Latin. Well, I'm sorry, and maybe that's not the right word to use, but he had an accent to use. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very true to a different type of heritage. It's not all white. It's not Eurocentric at the end of the day.
Everybody has their own culture. In some interviews, Matt Reeves has talked about like some of the inspirations, the comics that he read. Like three main inspirations were like the Long Halloweens, which I just recently watched, which is on HBO Max, animated version, which I enjoyed. Both aspects. Batman Year One and I think No Man's Land. I think was his three main inspirations for it. But yeah, and so I just want to ask you guys real quick. And I'll start with James. Is like, was there anything that stuck out about it that you just like didn't like at all? Like what were the things, or is there like one or two things, or like, I think we all thought it was great, but is there something that like, give me a couple, like, all right, I didn't really feel this, or, you know, I wasn't a fan of this.
To be honest,
James hates shit, so it don't matter. James hates everything.
You ain't listen to what I said in the beginning. I said I like the movie.
Sorry. Go ahead, brother. Hey, go ahead, brother. Sorry. Look, dog. Go ahead.
But like, there's nothing really that was an issue. Like when you think about it, like, of course, like I think I go to the Batmobile, right? Because I'm a car guy. Game. Relax.
Hey. Look, I forgot to touch on this. I just want to say the Batmobile reminded me of Knight Rider, and I like that. Go ahead.
That's cool.
I'm not going.
But it's kind of like I'm saying that's cool. Like, whatever floats your boat. My only question is this: like, that man got a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
I feel like the car should be a little bit more finished.
Oh my god.
That's all I'm saying.
Look at King's face. Hey, no, King's a piece of shit. Because look at how he's looking right now. Hey, King's a piece of shit.
Like, I just feel like the car should have been a little bit more finished. But the shit was cool as fuck. It was cool. It was a monster. I fuck with it. But yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think me and K-Dot had the same dislike. I think we have the same one. So Reese, what do you have something? Was there something that stood out to you that you was like, I wasn't feeling that?
I think that the whispering shit. I'm a big what's the series called? Mission Impossible fan. So the scene that they were like locked in the cage together and they were like whispering to each other. It reminded me a lot of Mission Impossible 3. They're like kind of whispering back and forth. You can get out this way. I'm gonna do this thing, you know, and you're gonna escape like this. That's kind of what it reminded me of. It was kind of lazy, you know. But that was it. I think that can I say what I love? Can I say what I love?
That's not this segment. It's what we hate.
Yeah, we just doing what we hate.
No. Okay, so that's what I hated. I hated the scene with him and Gordon. I hated the scene with him and Gordon when they were like locked in a little cage and he punched Gordon to get out and all the shit. I think I kind of hated the scene where they left Penguin by himself, where it was like Penguin was like shackled at his ankles. You know what I'm talking about? They left him.
Oh yeah.
I loved that when he actually walked like a penguin in the rain. That shit was funny.
I'll say this real fast. I loved it, but I also hated it because it didn't serve a purpose. I'm a big fan of like screenplays.
Levity. Levity. The movie's too dark. It had to have some moments.
No,
he kind of took a breath.
No. It wasn't too dark. It was just that didn't further the plot. I think, for me, I think that didn't further the plot in the sense that it didn't get us closer to Maroni. It didn't get us closer to the truth of the what was going on. That's all. It was something that reminded me of what's that Denzel movie? What's that Denzel movie, bro? Fucking Man on Fire. It was a Man on Fire scene. You know what I'm talking about? Where he had an explosive tucked in dude's ass, and they both walked away from him, and he exploded under the bridge.
Yeah,
that's what it reminded me of.
Like that.
But it didn't end in that. It just seemed like it could have led to something like that, and they walked away from it, and it didn't further anything.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's something I hated with that, but I have something I love with that as well. So
they ain't the same.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I will say, because I want Kid out to finish, because I think he gonna expand. I just want to say, all right, and I've listened to a couple of reviews of the movie just because like I was so hyped after seeing it. I wanted to see what other people thought. And like this person, I forget who said it, but it was a person who said the same thing, basically what I'm about to say. But the only part of the movie that I did not like was Barry Keoghan's The Man Who Laughs, Joker. Like I thought that was so like and they said that, and it was the same for me. It pulled me out of the movie because we're talking about like a movie that's been super grounded and everything. And I think it's because the character is so iconic. We've seen, there like been 3 different Jokers in like the last, 5 years or whatever. And then to add, Barry Keoghan, like, it's just like, okay, like doing Joker 1, you kind of want to do Joker right. You want to do him justice. You know what I'm saying? You want to see him and all that stuff. I just felt like that was so unnecessary. Like we didn't have to get that. Like they could have cut that entire scene for me and just left it as a extra with like they did with the Joker. And I think that would have because when I gave the movie a 9 out of 10. It would have probably been 10 out of 10 if they had to cut that scene.
I won't go that. I won't go that hard. But no, I'm with Keem. Like I'm not gonna go that harshly as far as it affecting the grade of the movie for me. I love Barry Keoghan. He's a creepy motherfucker. I think I'm actually curious to see what he does with it. Because every time I do see him and stuff, if you've seen The Green Knight, he's in that and he's creepy as shit. I think he's one of the strongest points in the movie Eternals, honestly, is Druig. I was just wanted more time with that particular character. And he's also great in Dunkirk. So like I love Barry Keoghan. I'm really excited to see what he does with it.
He's dope.
Look, it was so off-putting. It does not fit anything else that we were seeing happen in the movie. And I was really curious because it felt as though knowing DC and seeing what happened, like Suicide Squad, seeing what happened to Justice League, it felt as though, hey, Warner Brothers stopped down and said, hey, we need you guys to make sure you leave this little teaser here when Joker comes around next time. And it hurt me to think that because of how much I respect Matt Reeves and how much I think I was Keem in the text thread that I was talking to. He said that he said that it wasn't the studio. So I was listening to some interviews, and he did a really good interview with Sean Fennessy at The Ringer. And it bothered Sean Fennessy too. And he asked him. So apparently what we are going to see is that there's a much longer scene that was supposed to take place earlier in the movie that didn't involve the Joker, that would have fleshed out the character just a bit more. Because I think that's the only thing is like, either give me none of Joker or give me more Joker. Don't give me this half-ass bullshit where he's just laughing in the thing and I can barely make out his face. It felt so off. Like, it just felt like it was, I understand what he was going for. Like, you want to keep it in. You should have just cut it if you cut the earlier scene. You give it to us on the ending
credit scenes in like the Marvel movies.
And we don't need that. And they did have a post-credit scene and it was creepy enough just the way it was. Just leave it there. But it was just a URL.
Did it feel cheap? It felt cheap to me.
Yes, it felt cheap.
It felt so. It felt cheap. Like it felt like one of those things. The studio came in and said, "Hey, let's do this."
I'm with you.
But to know that, hey, there was a scene earlier that I can respect where it is that Matt Reeves is coming from. It was just a creative decision. I just disagree with it. I am curious. I am very curious to see what that scene is if they do release it. It sounds like he's very much like it's going to be a scene that once it gets on home release, where he's going to let everybody see what it is that it was about. And it goes
to your point. Yep. I hate that you let it get released on like home DVD, extra scenes, whatever, right? To introduce the next shit, like that's cheap.
I don't think it's. Like, but you remember the first cut of this movie is how long? The first cut,
255.
No, when we first heard the original cut of this movie is supposed to be like 4.5 hours long. Like it was insane. And I'm of the idea that you let a director cook, and I understand that you can have a theatrical release and then give me expanded shit, right? I want to see your full artistic direction. Anyone can tell. Right. I refuse to this day. I will not see the Joss Whedon Justice League movie. I won't watch it. I refuse to watch it. I will only watch the Snyder cut. When it came out, I was like, I know Zack Snyder did not have full creative control over this.
Right.
I'm not watching it out of respect for it.
But no,
it's not going to do it.
But this is what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. To your point, right? You let crumbs come out after the shit, right? And it leads into the next teaser for the next big shit. You know what I mean?
Potentially, because there's another thing that he did mention in the interview with Sean, which makes me give him a little more credit than that. That there is a good chance Joker's not in the next movie,
and I hope he's not. He said that because I heard him say that too. He was like, yeah, we just wanted to kind of show you like
he's here and exists in the universe, right?
Yeah, he exists, and like Batman has been already here and like dealt with people that you might be familiar with in his role.
But this is what I'm saying. But the team, this is what I'm saying, bro. It feels very cheap to have things come out and not be the director's vision, right? Things kind of leak out into the post DVD shit, right? And the extra shit that like gets sprinkled in the extra releases, and it's like, fam, why do I have to see that to see the teaser for this next thing? And the teaser for this next thing may not even be accurate, right? It's just everything kind of building up from a monetary standpoint.
I disagree. I'm going to push back a little bit on that.
Okay.
Like my pushback before you say anything, Kadeen, is mine is like usually with like extras and like extra scenes, you'll find them on YouTube. They're all on YouTube. Like you don't have to buy it. Like, but
it's different. But it's different if it's YouTube. It's different if it's YouTube and it's being you and us, like us four, right? And we're saying, "Yo, did you see this?" And we're speculating amongst ourselves, as opposed to a planned leak from the studio, and they're saying, "Yo, this is the direct."
I don't know. I don't think that's that. Maybe I conflated the two things. I want to make sure I keep them separate.
Okay.
There's a difference between Zack Snyder having a vision and being told, we don't like your vision, we're hiring somebody else to finish this movie.
Right.
Compared to some directors need to be told, hey, no one's sitting in a fucking theater for 5 hours to watch your goddamn movie. You better cut some shit. Which is an understandable request. Like if I had to sit down for a 4-hour Batman movie in a theater, that's gonna be a problem for me. Like even if it's great, it's gonna be a problem. Because who's got 4 fucking hours to spend in a movie theater to do that shit? Like I get it. You have to indulge to a certain degree, and that's why you get the extended version later on, right?
I'm not arguing with you what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying. I wholeheartedly agree with what you're saying. I think every director should be able to flesh out whatever they want to flesh out, and it should lead to the next shit, right? What I think that Marvel has been poisoned of, and I hope that DC doesn't have this same problem, is that there's things that don't necessarily. Okay, let's take the Doctor Strange shit, right? Doctor Strange shit that's been leading up. There's like 3 or 4 different trailers, right? And there's hella people speculating what's to come next.
Mm-hmm.
We know based off the Marvel formula, half this shit won't see the theater. Just like what we saw with the Spider-Man shit, right? Yeah. Half that shit is just a misnomer. It's not leading to nowhere, right? At least to a dead end. So I don't want this franchise or Matt Reeves specifically to cheapen itself to put breadcrumbs out there to things that will never materialize.
But see, I don't think he's doing that. When you hear him in the interview, and I think what Keem was speaking to too, he wanted you to know within this movie that he has, Batman has experienced shit already. There is stuff that has happened in year one. There are people in Arkham that he has had relationships with, and there are big deals. Like the Joker being in Arkham and knowing that he has anything to do with the Joker gives you context to knowing this motherfucker has already been through some shit. And it helps as far as flesh out the character in the movie. I can understand.
I'm with you. I'm with you. What I'm saying is I hope it doesn't come to that. And we know that DC doesn't have a strong lock on what the fuck they're doing. We've seen DC not have a good grasp on where they want to go.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Adam's about to
we watch real fast, just an example. We watched Snyder's iteration of a fucking Aquaman, and then we watched whoever the fuck else put Aquaman out there as kid friendly and all the shit, right? We watched The Flash be one iteration of shit. Then we watch a whole nother version of Flash come out and be a different iteration of shit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't trust DC I don't trust Warner Brothers as a studio to come out under solidified front and say, hey, this is the version of this character we're gonna put out, and they're gonna be XYZ, and then the next iteration we see is like some kiddie shit or
I don't think anybody's disagreeing with you, Reese. I just think that right here in this particular situation, while that was a concern, after hearing from Matt Reeves himself, this particular situation with this particular thing is not that. Like we've seen it happen tons of times. In this particular case, it's not.
I'm saying that, but we don't. But what I'm saying is, with Warner Brothers as a studio, we don't know until we see the next iteration of. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not saying that like any of us are wrong.
But I do think that this movie is a lot closer to Joker than it is to anything else that's happening as far as in the
But it feels. Hold
on. Let me hold y'all up. I don't want to get caught up in that. Like we still got the rankings to do.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
So like let's move on and do the.
I'll probably cut some of that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm a fan.
No, we were just me and you were just going back and forth.
Y'all nerded out right quick.
Yeah. I don't.
It turned into a me and James debate.
Hey, wait, real fast. I hate these niggas. That's all I'm saying. I hate Warner Brothers. That's studio.
That's fair.
I hate Warner Brothers as a studio. I'm sorry.
Hey, can you start the cut when the fucking light went off?
That shit was hilarious.
I was like, fam, I just put in this new fucking battery. It's like y'all talking forever.
Keep it plugged in.
It was a new battery.
No, you just keep it plugged in. I don't use the battery. I just have it plugged in.
Well, there's no plug in for this shit.
Hey, real fast. If you guys haven't seen, there's a documentary on YouTube about the makers of the Batman animated series, and about their disdain for the movies, their disdain for the live action joints. If you guys get an opportunity, watch it, please. I watched it. It talks about the Timbers. It talks about all the Batmans that came after Kevin Conroy. It's fucking phenomenal.
Okay, it's on HBO Max.
It's on YouTube. I'll send it to you. I'll put it in the group chat.
Okay. All right, bet.
It's about an hour and 30 minutes long.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down for that because I love Tim, and I know that they're just to kind of in transition. Like I know that Matt Reeves is writing some of the new animated Batman episodes, Cape Crusader, which I'm excited for. I'm so excited, and it's a continuation of the Timverse, which is like I'm gonna get into that later when we rank the Batmans. And so like can't wait for that part. But before we do that, I do want to go ahead and I want to start with our 1 to 10 ranking of the Batman films. And so I'm thinking I want to go. Did I say we're going to start off with one with this or the next one? I can't remember.
You said we were going to start at 1. I don't know if I ever loved that, but I'm going to follow your lead.
Okay. Yeah. We're going to start off with 1. And it was because the reason we're starting off 1 with this is because I think if we had did it from 10 up, like once you get to like 2 or 3, you kind of know what everybody else has left. You know what I'm saying? And I hate experiencing that as a viewer. Like I don't like, you know what I'm saying?
Can I go to the bathroom real quick?
Yeah, we're just gonna keep going.
Please do.
Yeah. So I would like to start off with everybody's number 1. And I want to go last. I'll let James go first.
This is some bullshit. No, you always let me fucking go first. No, K-Dot goes first.
All right,
first.
K-Dot goes
I'm tired
first.
of this shit. Like,
Okay.
I go first, y'all kill me.
Matter
I'm
of
like,
fact,
what the fuck?
K-Dot go first, I'll go second. And you can go third.
Cool.
Number one for me, it was hard because especially after talking about the reviews of this new movie, so I want to put it at number one. I mean, I think I was there up until a few hours ago today. I'm gonna have to go with Dark Knight number one. Dark Knight kind of changed the game. Christopher Nolan is still probably the best director to ever start doing any of the superhero movies, even though he kind of struggles with showing emotion on screen, which is just a pet peeve I have of his. But he has to let his actors do majority of the carrying because it's not usually written in the script. Dark Knight has its flaws. It has its issues, absolutely. But from the Joker plan and how that actually works out, feels very Javier Bardem in Skyfall. How do you know Bond's going to be right there to pass the train through? How do you know he's going to put the flash drive right there in the thing? It's a lot of that shit kind of happening with the Joker's plan. That, like, things have to happen in a way in which you have no control over, sir. So there's just some of that just to sound like, nothing. And I did bring this up earlier. There's a scene with the bike when he's doing chicken shit with Joker. He drives into the wall.
I'll go and then I'll pick up.
And then the bike flips, but he doesn't turn directions the other way. Even if he flips, he'd still be facing the wall. It doesn't make sense. It breaks my head every time I fucking see. There's some physics shit that don't work for whatever. There's aspects of Dark Knight that I still have some issues with, but I think the reason I'm going to put it here at number one is the idea that it stands the test of time, and it's the only reason the Batman's not number one right now. Is that I can look back and I can still watch Dark Knight years after. And I still haven't even said the big deal, which is Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker, which is, I'm sorry, it's legendary. It only grows in mystique because of us losing Heath. And there's always going to be that angle of like what could have been, and it's always going to elevate it. And I get it. Death does that. Sometimes you can call it fair, not fair. It's just what it is. And I also think Aaron Eckhart's Two-Face is extremely underrated. Although I do feel as though almost like Game of Thrones last season, they kind of fast forward him at the end, whereas like I would have not minded like him having a whole goddamn movie as a fucking villain, honestly. But it worked and it served the purpose of the story almost perfectly. The way that they used Two-Face and Harvey Dent to set up things. The Dark Knight's just an exemplary movie. It's amazing. And I do hope that the Batman in 5 years, if it still holds up, will probably take that number one spot.
Okay, so we're very similar. I have a 1A and 1B. They're 1A and 1B for me. And my 1A is the Batman. And the reason it's not number one exclusively, period, is because of what you just said. Is because it hasn't been 14 years since the movie came out. And I can say I've watched it 100 times and it still holds up. But the Batman, I still we spoke about this earlier. I think it's the most true.
My nigga just asked number one.
I got the Batman
number one.
Yeah, hey! Batman number one. I got 1A, 1B. The Batman number one. Dark Knight is number 1B. And so yeah, it just you need more time. I need to rewatch it, see what that rewatchability. Because for me, like when you're talking about films, rewatchability is always a thing. Like you get into movies and there are certain movies like that will be heralded forever. Like I remember, I think it was 2015 or 2014 when Boyhood came out. It was like a huge Oscars and everybody was talking about oh, it's a great movie. And it was shit. It was fucking shit. It's a fucking terrible film. And I don't know why people were talking about it. It is not something that
there are better examples you could use for this argument. You don't got to do that for Boyhood.
I'm hosting now.
No, you can say Green Book. You can say The King's Speech. You can say all that bullshit.
This is not going to be a 5-hour pod. We're not doing this.
Wait,
we're not doing this. No. Stop it, Reese.
What movie?
Reese, look, mute this nigga. Stop it.
I'm asking. What movie?
No, don't. No. Whatever. No, fuck it. It don't matter. Go ahead. Finish your point, because we got to move on. We only on number one.
Yeah. So they're 1A and 1B for me. So I guess that's my two. With the Dark Knight, it's great. Obviously, there are some things like what K-Dot was saying where it's like, this doesn't, you know what I'm saying? This doesn't necessarily make sense, or this is very convenient. Because like in the Dark Knight, like people just move and they're just in places, and like they get to places and like nobody sees them. Like Two-Face, just like nobody caught him on the street, like nobody see him. Like he just sneaking and like he a fucking ninja all of a sudden. The fucking Harvey Dent with half of his face blown off. We can't fucking find this nigga. We can't find him at all. Like we can't find him, but he just showing up at cops' houses and shit. He in a bar. He everywhere.
Just like my nigga,
we can't
bro.
find him.
Just like my guy, bro. See, so I'm talking about. Me and Keem talked earlier. It's my guy right here because he know the real shit.
So like what? He just showing up and shit. But like it's just like it's certain shit like that you see on the rewatch. And I know it's gonna be something that happens on whatever like happens with like the Batman rewatch, or something we'll catch and like, this doesn't make sense, or like this thing happened. But in my opinion, I haven't seen anything yet, Batman. And that's just because it's fresh.
And I already know off rip, James is gonna say George Clooney is his favorite Batman. I know in my mind.
That's very likely. That is very likely.
Because you like the Ocean you're not the host. So I'm gonna go now.
Hey,
I'm gonna go now.
Wait,
I'm gonna go now.
I know James like the Ocean movies. 11, 12, and 13. I already know where you at with it. Sorry, go ahead.
All right.
No?
My number one is The Dark Knight.
Okay.
All right.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, my man.
Blow it up. Blow it up.
Not like I heard this saying, like they said, like a superhero movie is only as strong as the villain. And Heath Ledger's portrayal was fucking iconic. I don't say that word all the time, but it is.
Yeah.
You say that word all the time.
That put that there for me. Number two is the Batman, but it's, you know, like people say, like, yeah, when you first hear an album or some shit, people always say, oh man, it's a classic. And it's like, you don't know yet.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's kind of like the same shit. Like it has the potential to be like the best shit ever, or it could slip down a few notches. Like the movies that I be watching when I was like younger, I was like, oh, this is great. And you watch it again and be like, like, can I say my number 10 movie or the worst movie?
No,
not yet.
Going in a fucking order.
Fine.
Don't jump ahead. But I think we all agree, at least all three so far. We're gonna see what Reese says, but all three so far, like we're on the same space.
Yeah.
Because like I think we just did it differently. Like you guys are saying it's one. I'm not saying it's not one. I'm saying I got the Batman one, and if we give it time.
Yeah, I think we're all there. I think if we revisit this list, there's a very good chance the Batman is going to be number one.
Especially like seeing what else happens next and like what happens later.
No, I don't give a fuck. If this is a standalone, I still think I'm going to go back and revisit this. I just want to see in 5 years, is it something that if it's on cable,
I would knock it down. I would knock it down.
I'm definitely going to watch it.
Yeah, I think so.
I would knock it down if it's a standalone.
For K-Dot, real fast. K-Dot, you saying that it very much so may be a sign of the times or a picture of the times. We already know, like as the shit in the 90s, it's very 90s-esque, you know. And so it may suffer from that. It might actually suffer from the surrealism that we're trying to introduce in the 2020s. It may. However, it doesn't mean that it's not written well, not acted well, not depicted well, you know. So I'll just caution you on that note.
No, I agree with that. I think it's like watching The Wire. Greatest TV show all the time. Motherfuckers are using pagers and payphones. It's like, all right, this is not relevant now. It's just you feel it. Yeah, I get it.
But much so like with The Wire, it does stand the test of time, even though we know that was late 90s, early 2000s. You know what I mean? Like, so it might be that still. We just have to take ourselves out of that mindset because we lived it, we survived it. You know what I mean?
Right, so give us your
you niggas make me agree with Kid.
I know this is doing the Batpod, but I can't wait to talk about how the six is getting worked. But okay, my bad. Go ahead.
They are. I can't wait either. I'm trying. I'm like, it's on in the background. But
yeah, buddy.
That's what
yeah, buddy.
Let's speed it up then. Let's speed it up so I get to go to say that 10.
K-Dot.
Anyway.
K-Dot. Yeah, K-Dot.
Reese.
All that shit you talking.
Reese,
ain't over, motherfucker.
What's your number one Batman film of all time?
Master of the Phantasm.
Okay.
That's my number one. My number one all time. Because it still tackled Bruce's conflict, you know what I'm saying, with his parents, and it tackled it in a multitude of ways. Also, it gave us Bruce where it showed the comeuppance of Bruce, where he still had to be Bruce. You know, he had a romantic interest, and Alfred was telling him like, you gotta do both. And it showed the killing of his parents. Or it didn't show the killing of his parents, but it showed who his parents' killer may be, which has always been kind of a mystery, you know. And what was the shit? Andrea Beaumont, was that her name?
Yeah,
Andrea Beaumont. It showed a romantic interest, you know, and it showed a romantic interest even getting involved in it, you know, on that side of things with her parents, you know. So it showed the Joker, all that shit through the whatever, like I want to say the Disneyland of the shit, you know. Joker was getting busy. Joker wasn't the Joker that we saw, you know, or the joke of the Joker, you know, where it was, you know, Batman, you know, you're giving Batman fits and that's a joke, you know, where he's a clown, he can beat up Batman, this and that. Batman was poisoned, disillusioned, he was gassed, he was this and that. The stakes were higher. I just think 1993 Mask of the Phantasm is the height of Batman film spirit. But we're talking live action. I think this is the live action. This is the best that we've ever seen. It showed him being a detective, you know, because you think about, like, you know, every iteration of Ra's al Ghul, every time he ran into Batman, he called him a detective. Why?
Yep.
This is the reason why. Yep. You know what I'm saying? He called him detective because he was an actual detective. He helped James Gordon before he was actually Commissioner Gordon, right? And we got a chance to see the trust that was laid in him. And we got a chance to see the cops that weren't corrupted, right? Like you saw the dude that was with him in the last, you know, final scenes with the Riddler. What was it, Martinez, right? Martinez. He had a chance to work through the shit with him. He wasn't corrupted. And you got a chance to see Batman being really who Batman was, even when, you know, and people and like in the villain antagonizing Batman. He lived in the traps for him, you know. Him, the villains knowing that it's bigger than the police.
So Reese, is that your number two then? Is that your number? So you got Mask of the Phantasm 1, and would you say the Batman is your number 2?
Batman's 2, and of course, whatchamacallit's number 3, Dark Knight.
Hey. Okay. We're going in order.
Yeah, we'll get there. So that's your number 2. All right, James, you go.
Pull the James.
Nah, look.
You said
if he pulled to me, he would have went through this whole list.
Yeah, that shit.
Like I went through my whole fucking list. All right, my number 3 is this is gonna be fun.
Wait, did you say number 2 already, James?
Yeah. My number 1 is Dark Knight. Number 2 is the Batman.
Okay.
Number 2 is the Batman. Okay.
Yeah, like, and then I explained like, we call it a classic, but it just got to stand the test of time. Like, it was a great movie.
All right, so Reese, we got Mask at 1, the Batman at 2, the Dark Knight at 3. All right, and so James, we've got the Dark Knight at 1, the Batman at 2, and your number 3 is
Batman Begins.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not even mad at you.
I'm not mad at that movie, bro.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you at all.
So,
and we gonna talk.
Right,
I'm not mad. That's cool.
Right,
that's cool.
I'm usually getting killed, so that's all I'm saying. I'm gonna move on before
I want to slightly kill you, but nah, I'm good. We're good. No, we're good. We're good. It's not that serious.
I'm not gonna kill you because my number.
Shit. Oh shit! Don't do it. Don't do it.
My number 2, but it's 3 if you want to rank it that way. My number 3 is The Dark Knight Rises.
Motherfucker! He fucking did. You gotta get the fuck out, man.
You gotta go.
Hey, you know what, Keem? That's my number 4. So I ain't even mad.
And Batman Begins is my number 4.
What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Let me say my piece.
How quotable?
Dark Knight Rises gets a lot of shit because it followed The Dark Knight. I think Bane was a much better villain than the Joker. Easily, the Joker, Heath Ledger just gave a better performance. Those are 2 very different things.
Wait, real fast.
Let me finish.
No, explain it. I'm asking.
He is the man that broke the bat. He broke that nigga, put that nigga in a hole in India, and had him sitting there watching shit on TV like a fucking paraplegic. He broke the Batman.
How he get back?
Huh?
How he get back?
That's exactly.
Nigga,
but
what?
But see, no, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. There are elements of that in The Dark Knight.
No, but they're not as egregious. That's my only issue is that there's some egregious shit happening. And look, I love Bane too. You know what? Why he get sent out like a little bitch by Selena Kyle at the end? That shit ruined it.
The only thing that ruined
Rolls
it was
up and just shoots him with the bagpipe. The fuck
one
was
tier,
that?
The one tier ruined it. The one tier ruined it for sure.
We choose to mentally block out certain parts of shit.
If you got it mentally blocked out, it means it's not that great.
Hey,
no.
If I mentally block it out, I don't remember. So it don't matter.
The only really cringe moment is the death scene. Is the Talia al Ghul death scene where I was like, yo, I was in I remember watching it in theaters. I remember like, what the fuck was that? I was like, Nolan, you let this slip through? Like, what are we doing here?
Worst death scene maybe ever.
But anyway, yeah. I think it gets a lot of shit because it follows the Dark Knight. It does have like a couple plot holes or whatever. You're like, how did that happen or whatever?
Hella plot holes.
But like I said, I feel the same way about that when you're talking about the Dark Knight. How did he get here like so fast? Like if like okay, so because they in fucking Nolan films, they be time traveling, my nigga. It's time travel and people appear where they're supposed to be. They just know where you at. Like, so the scene where Two-Face fucking takes the mentally ill guy, and like Batman was just throwing Maroni off a fucking roof, and then he appeared and he went to see fucking Two-Face and he found him talking to the mentally ill guy. How did he know where he was?
How did Two-Face changes out of the hospital gown and get out of the building as it's blowing up? There's a lot. Yeah, I get it.
That's what I'm saying. And see, so I'm going to keep it consistent because I didn't fault the Dark Knight for that. I'm not going to fault the Dark Knight Rises for that because it's the same. It's the same filmmaker. That he has issues with that in all his films. Not just
Dunkirk.
Batman.
Not Dunkirk.
I love Interstellar. There are issues with Interstellar. He has I'm not even going to get into that. But
Not
yeah,
Dunkirk.
so
fucking duh.
Not Dunkirk. Dunkirk, you figured it out.
King, hold on real fast. King. I
hate that.
Of course there's problems with Interstellar. What are you talking about, dog?
I mean, there are problems with Prestige, Interstellar, like
Prestige has some issues.
This is a Batman pod.
Every single Nolan movie, and I love Nolan.
Look, I'm the first to admit there.
Go ahead.
I'm first to is I don't even know if it's my turn. Is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn. Yeah, that's my turn.
No, go ahead.
So I'm doing 2 and 3.
You already did 2, right?
I mean, you kind of know where I'm going with 2 based on what I said with 1, but number 2 is the Batman. Gritty, amazing. I still think, given enough time, if I go back to it, it's easily gonna crack to number 1 because, like we're talking about, Christopher Nolan has a lot of holes in these movies. The problem with me with Dark Knight Rises and why I'm not going to talk about it for a while as we go through these lists is because there's a
talk about it.
Shut up. But it's all. Yep, you're right. So the Batman to me, the reason I love the Batman so much is that when comparing it to the Dark Knight, I immediately left the Dark Knight being like, all right, there were some issues. The same way I left Endgame thinking, did a rat really start the whole thing? Like I leave and there's just something stuck right here, and it's just like, did I really see that? So there are issues with the Dark Knight in that way. I literally cannot. I've been racking my brain. And that's why I want to go see it again. I can't find any faults with the Batman other than the Joker thing at the end. I just can't. Everything was just so taut. It just made sense. My number 3 is Batman 89. The 1989 Batman movie with Jack Nicholson as the Joker and Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Like and Tim Burton. As far as building as far as Gotham City, it's a weird flick. It's just weird. But it's weird in all like the best possible fucking ways. Like it's just when James dropped that word iconic, there's certain aspects of the Tim Burton, Michael Keaton movies that are iconic. The Batmobile, as dumb as it looks when in like the 21st century to have a car that kind of looks like that driving on the streets, to think about like what it is you saw in the comic books and everything as far as that having that profile of that kind of car, it's fucking dope. And as far as the world building, as far as Gotham and Tim Burton and Gotham, there's just this weirdness that exists in it. Like when you were saying that the new Batman has like Gotham is its own thing. This is the way I feel about this movie. It's very much like a real lived in but weird, fantastical place. And I dig it. And look, motherfuckers, we could talk all day long about Heath Ledger's Joker. Jack Nicholson, number 1, agreeing to fucking be in this movie was a big fucking deal for 1989. And he killed it. Billy D. Williams is in that motherfucker, and it's just dope. And not to mention my trump card. If we're talking about soundtracks, Prince did it.
I knew you was gonna say that. I knew you was gonna say that.
It's a Prince soundtrack.
And I'm on board.
They got Prince to do the soundtrack. Come on.
That's fair.
Okay.
All right, so,
I'm on board.
So, Kate, I'm gonna let you transition to number 4, right?
Okay.
And then we'll go back around.
All right. So my number 4, being that we're gonna stay here around this area, is Batman Returns. I think I do have it, number 4.
Yeah.
All right. Number 4, Batman Returns. Michelle Pfeiffer is Catwoman.
This is
amazing. Danny DeVito is the Penguin. He's doing so much, but it's not so much in a way that makes it bad. The same way that there was a part of me that got a little nervous when they decided they were going to hire Colin Farrell to be the Penguin. Because my initial thought of Colin Farrell is like, what is he the bag on? Was it Elektra? Is Elektra or Daredevil?
Yeah,
The first one?
I mean, it's Daredevil. It's Daredevil. He's
Daredevil. Yeah, with Bullseye, and it's just like, Colin, take it down a couple notches, brother. Just take it down.
Bullseye,
and I think that's why they did.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they did all the prosthetic, where you literally can't see it as Colin Farrell in the new movie. It still blows my mind that it was him. I think their line is mine.
He
was fucking great. But
that shit is horrible.
But what?
Fuck.
What's horrible?
Daredevil. The first one?
Yeah. Fuck that. So Batman Returns,
Fucking
just
terrible.
And even Christopher Walken. Like, there's a lot of things happening in Batman Returns, and I'm just returning to this Tim Burton aspect of Gotham. To me, it's always going to be great. I love Michael Keaton's Batman. I love how he's really on his own most of the time, compared to Christian Bale cheating the entire time. He never really is a detective at all. He's just a rich boy with a lot of gadgets that the black man Lucius Fox made for him. The Michael Keaton's like on his own doing shit, and he's like really alone. And you also get a bit of that Bruce Wayne, and his Bruce Wayne's he's just a weirdo. And I love that. And Michael Keaton is an amazing actor. Tim Burton's an amazing visionary. I love Batman Returns. And the video game on Super Nintendo was fucking awesome. Just throwing it out there.
I can't wait to get into the Batman conversation. We might have to just list after we get to 5, we might have to just list the rest and then get into that conversation for sake of time. But yeah, so that's your number 4. Your number 4 is Batman Returns, and would like to go with my number 4, which I already said, Batman Begins is my number 4. I think it's a great origin story. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I like that he kind of explained, the reason for the suit, the genesis of the suit, of how he got his gadgets and everything. I like that Ra's al Ghul trained him. Now, again, one of those things, and which I'll get into this when we have our conversation, each director's kind of done like a different version. They've done different versions of Batman where you got Tim Burton was like the weird and crazy Batman. And then you get like with Nolan, it's more like, I'm James Bond, bitch, because he really wants to make a James Bond film. He said that himself. And with with Ben Affleck's version, it was more so Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns version of Batman. And so
then you try to be Spawn without actually being Spawn.
Yeah. And then I just liked Batman Begins. I really enjoy it. It's a movie you can always watch. And I feel like it's Quentin Tarantino thinks it's Nolan's best film. But I do think it's kind of gotten kind of underrated.
Get the fuck out of here.
Tarantino's weird. He likes B level films. He doesn't.
I need to see this interview that Quentin Tarantino did that he says this.
I think it's with
fuck Tarantino. What are you talking about?
He did like a thing with The Ringer. I think where he
I thought he was. I thought we were. I thought me and him were on the same page. Dunkirk was probably Nolan's best.
No, he said he thinks it was. It might have been his best Batman film then, but
okay.
he definitely said that.
But I think Inception is the best.
Go ahead, James.
My number 4 is Dark Knight Rises. We kind of already touched on it. I ain't got to do too much.
Yeah. What's your number 4, Reese?
I gotta side with Kata. I mean, I think Batman Returns. I think is because of what it incorporated for who Batman was, especially at that time, was in '92. I think it incorporated shit from the cartoon. It was shit for it was really faithful to the comic book. You know what I mean? Michael Keaton is just timeless. Michelle Pfeiffer, I'm not even into white bitches like that, but you know what I'm saying? She was doing her thing. She was a tad bit sexy. It was it told a story of somebody who was untold before. Oswald Cobblepot. It wasn't the Joker. It wasn't the Riddler. It wasn't the Two-Face. It wasn't the popular story to capture. So I think that part was dope.
So you
the rise and the fall of somebody
Batman
who wasn't
Returns
really
over
a mainstay.
Batman 89?
I don't even fall in for that. I can see it going either way.
I'm just asking.
Yes. I do actually. Okay. I do actually. I do from a cinematic standpoint. Yeah, because it was a little bit darker. You know what I mean? And incorporate elements that we never seen before. The origin story of everybody is always going to be bigger and supposed to be better, right? It's always supposed to be the big shebang to who the character is, right? Well, look at Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is not this big player in Marvel Comics, right? But the origin story is huge. You know what I mean? Even though I'm a really big Doctor Strange fan, Doctor Strange is not huge in Marvel Comics like that. But the origin story is always bigger than what it's really supposed to be, or what that person's supposed to be. They always play like some really big role and they fade to the back. I like the shit that's really true to who the character is. So the shit that he played with, like I said, Oswald Cobblepot, it was dope. It was dope, and it threw Batman for a loop. He wasn't thrown for a loop in the first for the first Batman. It was really just, hey, square up, nigga, see me, big shit exploding. You know what I mean? Kind of what the what was the other big movie of the day? Ghostbusters. It was kind of really what Ghostbusters was, right? Really big shit, boom, big explosions. This shit was more thought out. It's more it was more what's the word I'm looking for? Intentional, right? It's all more intentional with the script and the way the story was told. That's the shit that I gravitate towards. Then that's why I like the new Batman so much. The Batman movie was more intentional. I fuck with it. So the Batman Returns is number 4 for me. And like I said, bro, you already know my number 1 is, bro, Mask of the Phantasm. And Keem and I had this conversation on Twitter earlier. He's not gonna bring no light to it, but I said it straight up. Kevin Conroy is the definitive Batman.
We're gonna get there, Reese.
Reese, you're terrible.
Hold on.
So
look, wait.
Reese, right after, all right, so what I want you now is to give me your number 5. And then after you explain your number 5, like give me your 6 through 10.
Under the Red Hood is my number 5.
Okay.
Under the Red Hood, because it's a dope story, because Batman, has to confront his protege. It's really dope. I think after that, Dark Knight Rises. No, sorry, not Dark Knight Rises, but what was the first one? What was the first
Batman
film?
Begins.
Batman Begins is probably number 6. After that, it's probably 89.
Okay.
Number 7 is probably, they all just kind of blend together after that. I think what's not on there is the fucking what was the Japanese joint, the anime shit that came out a couple years ago?
Oh, Batman Ninja.
Oh my God, shoot everybody. Shoot me, nigga. That shit's terrible. That shit's so bad. Oh my God. Well,
I never watched it. I see it's on HBO Max, but I'm gonna watch it at some point.
No. Batman versus Robin is really dope. Batman versus Batman versus Robin, right? With the Quarter Owls.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one you yeah.
No, that shit's hard. And then it's Batman versus Son of Batman is after that, which is really dope. But the animation really sucks. Niggas got lazy as shit in certain scenes. Yeah, after everything's just a blur.
Okay. All right. James, give me your number 5 and then list your 6 through 10.
All right. So number 5 is Batman 89. Fucking love that movie. Yeah, like when I think about like the old days, like that's the one that comes up. Okay, number 6, Mask of the Phantasm. When you guys talked about it, right? When you guys talked about doing this pod, I remember there was an animated Batman movie that I fucking loved as a kid, and this was it. Like, because when you guys said like, yeah, we're including Mask, like you can include Mask. So I was like, the fuck are they talking about? I looked it up and I was like, that's my shit. So, so cool. Number 7, Batman Forever, 95. Yeah, I'll talk more on that later. Number 8, Batman Returns, 92. Number 9, Lego Batman. just because that's not really Batman. Like, whatever. And then number 10, like, here's how I composed my list. I started off with the number 1 and number 10 because I knew what the best movie was, and I also knew what the worst fucking movie was, and that is Batman and Robin.
There's more than 10 movies, though.
I know, but like, I just put it at 10. Like, if you could put anything else there, I don't give a shit. But Batman and Robin is the worst one. Fam, I tried to, like, when he's like, yeah, we're doing this pod. So I was like, all right, let me start watching all the old shit over again. I put this one on first. I don't know why, but I did, because when I watched it when I was a kid, it wasn't that bad. The first fucking 2 minutes, I turned it off. Why are you showing me Batman with nipples? I don't like that. Why are you showing me his dick?
Oh, don't do that,
everybody's
James.
ass. I don't like that.
There's more than there's more than one Batman costume that has nipples.
I know, because they also did that in Batman Forever, I believe. But the suit didn't have nipples that they just showed off.
But come on, why does that matter, James?
It's fucking weird. And then you guys know the picture that I sent to the fucking group chat? Like the random picture of the Guts trophy from Nickelodeon back in the day. If you look at that movie again, look at all of Mr. Freeze's fucking props. It's the same shit.
And I got the Guts theme song in my head.
Okay.
Yeah, it was weird. So yeah, that's my 1 through 10.
All right. So number 5 for me is Mask of the Phantasm. We've spoken to it, sung its praises. In my opinion, I'll say one of the best Batman ever, Kevin Conroy. He was Batman in this.
One of?
Great.
You said one of?
We're gonna get to it, bro. Just be
one
patient.
of?
Just be patient. Just be patient.
Okay.
Sorry. And then so my 6 through 10, I'm probably gonna get some flack for 6. But I feel like it's one of my favorites. It has a very near and dear special place in my heart. Dude. I feel like it's an underrated film at this point. It gets caught. It gets shit because of the film that came after it.
Oh,
but
okay.
Number 6 for me is Batman Forever.
I respect it.
Number 7 is Batman 89. Number 8, I've actually never seen, but I don't like the other 2. The behind this are so much worse that I'm sure it's better. Lego Batman. I'm never gonna watch Lego Batman. It's not for me. I know like it's not for me. It's not my type.
Hey,
it's
don't knock
kids
movie.
It's a kids movie.
Hey, don't knock it, fam.
It's a kids movie.
I'm not knocking. It's not.
Have y'all seen the Lego movie? The regular Lego movie? Okay, never mind that. Yeah. Okay.
No, I know that's not for me either. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, I would, if I watched the Lego movie, I would have watched Lego Batman. I know what I like. Yeah. And so like in number, I guess my number 9, Batman Returns. Ass. Number 10, Batman and Robin. Go ahead, K-Dot.
Cool.
Number
Batman and Robin or Batman versus Robin?
No, Batman
and Robin.
Yeah, Batman versus Robin and Red Hood they didn't qualify for our list, but we let it slide for you.
This is a sick Negro.
Number 5, Batman Begins. I think Scarecrow is extremely underrated. He's terrifying. Scarecrow is fucking terrifying. And Ra's al Ghul, everything. I think it was in it. I also think of the Nolan movies, he's doing the most interesting things with Gotham in that, as far as giving it its own look, like the railway, the monorail, and everything. Yeah. Whereas everything else is just either Chicago or New York, and it's like okay, but it just felt like he was being more creative in Batman Begins than he was in the other 2 movies. Whereas the second one's straight up Chicago, the third one's just New York. Can
I ask you a question real quick, Cat Up?
Yeah. The third one's Pittsburgh. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The third is a combination of Pittsburgh, but it's also New York. Remember the bridges when they're shutting them down? That's New York.
Yeah, but it's Pittsburgh.
And that's my question to you. Would you have known it was Chicago because it was Pittsburgh in the next film? Would you have known it was Chicago had they not advertised it so? Because there was a lot of shit and a lot of press junkies going out saying,
"No, the Chicago, chase scene,
this Pittsburgh."
The chase scene made me feel Chicago. That chase scene made it feel Chicago.
You guys are more East Coast. I'm just asking. I've been to Chicago. I wouldn't have known. I've been to Chicago. I spent I spent a lot of time in Chicago. Like
you get a vibe from a movie. Same way that like it annoys me every time people say that they're in DC and you know damn well like fucking what Die Hard, Live Free or Die Hard. Yeah. You're in LA. Exactly. It's not. Come on, guys.
It's like come on. I know what street I'm trying to say this is.
Come on.
I like when they do that and they shoot a movie in Atlanta, and I'm like, that's Atlanta. That's not
the worst I've ever seen was the second Transformers movie. They literally are like, we're at the National Air and Space Museum, and I'm seeing a movie in the Air and Space Museum, and they walk outside into the desert, and we're like, the whole entire theater was like,
and again, this is not me questioning integrity and like that. I'm only asking because that was a really, really big thing at the time they were filming the movie. They advertised
I remember
everywhere. Yeah,
but the second one just feels Chicago. The third one, I know Heinz Field and everything as far as Pittsburgh, but it also feels extremely New York afterwards.
Yeah.
All right, my 6 through 10. 6, Mask of Phantasm. Nothing's been said about it. 7.
How was it 6? How
7.
Was it 6?
I'm with you. I like Phantasm a whole lot. There's just
what is happening here?
There's other movies I'm going to turn on before it.
Go ahead.
Number 7, Lego Batman. Look, I get it. It's either for you or it's not for you. I find it fucking hilarious. It's so meta in a lot of the fucking ways, and I also think that the writers are not really kidding. I mean, it's a lot of the Lego movie started with like the Lonely Island guys and some dudes that have also gone on to make a lot of really, really good shit. So I'm just saying, if the writing is strong in those Lego movies, I get the animation and that style might not be for people, but the writing is actually fucking on point. Number 8, Batman Forever. Batman Forever has an issue because it's got Chris O'Donnell in it. I'm still putting it there. Number 9, Dark Knight Rises.
Hey,
I love Bane.
Let's get on Chris O'Donnell.
Chris O'Donnell getting shadowed. Number 9, Dark Knight Rises. I love Bane. I fucking love Bane. I love Bane. He went out like a bitch. And beyond that, there's so many. The movie's just so disjointed. It just doesn't feel cohesive at all. I have problems with Dark Knight Rises, even though it has so many people that I love. And number 10 is Batman 1966, the Adam West Batman movie, which is just, y'all are putting like fucking, y'all are putting Batman and Robin and forgetting that Batman 66 does exist, which is actually a watchable movie.
It's 11.
Duh, it's so bananas. There's shark repellent. There's a fucking, like, what is it? A dolphin that saves fucking Batman. Julie Newmar. Oh, Julie Newmar.
What was Joker's name? Romero.
Cesar Romero.
Cesar Romero. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on. It's just
rest in
classic.
Peace.
Classic shit.
Cool. All right. So we've wrapped that part. And again, because we're pressed for time, I'm gonna just go ahead and run through my 1 through 5 for the best Batman. So I just want to give a little bit of information.
Nah. Don't try to qualify this shit. Go ahead. Just do it.
Hold on. Just do it. This is my criteria in my head for best Batman. I'm thinking best Batman in total. We talking Bruce and Batman. To me, obviously, Batman is the real Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is the mask. It's one of the things that Christian Bale says in Dark Knight Rises, which is one of the best Batman films, top 5, top 6. Don't listen to K-Dot. And so my best Batman, he has to be the complete total package. And so I'm going to start with the guy to me who is easily the complete and total package. Number 1 is Kevin Conroy. I think there is no better Batman. I know he's just animated doing the voice, but man, he's been doing the voice for 20 plus fucking years and fucking killing that shit. Like he is a fucking legend. Like he has been biting it and he bited it in the animated series, Justice League, in the Batman movies that he did. Kevin Conroy is the Batman for me. Number 2, Ben Affleck. We're talking about who's the best Batman, not who got the best Batman films, not who was not, you know what I'm saying, who was in like the best Justice League films or anything. Who's the best Batman? His Batman was great. I wish he would have got a shot. I wish he would have got a good fucking shot. He has the best, in my opinion, best bat suit. I like his Batmobile. It's okay, but him as far as being Batman and Bruce, he's angry, he's calculated, he's the only one that's close to Kevin Conroy as far as like the the closest culmination of everything I think Batman is. I talked about this already, but I think different directors take different different versions of Batman and do their own thing. Like you want to highlight certain parts of Batman. And with Zach, he kind of leaned more into the rage with Batfleck and everything, which was fine. It was like kind of used for the Batman versus Superman film, which I get that. That's cool. But he is the best version because I think he's a tactician as far as being a fighter. He's a detective. He's dark, brooding. He had he didn't have a great shadowy like fucking scene like Robert Pattinson did, but there's a part in Batman versus Superman where they show you how terrifying he is. And like there's a part where like they're looking for him, the cops are looking for him, like where is he? And then he's like hanging like in the corner of the fucking room, and I'm like, this shit is fucking great. And so Batfleck is my number 2. Robert Pattinson is my number 3. We've talked about him glowingly. I think I love the detective edge of Batman. I didn't think it's been used enough. I feel like, and which I really hope that Matt Reeves does. This is one of my hopes for the sequel, that they get into how good he is as a fighter as far as being a tactician. And so like what I mean by that is Batman is in the comic universe is one of the best hand-to-hand combat fighters in the comic universe. The only people or person who I can think of that's better than him is Lady
Shiva.
Lady Shiva. She's number 1. Nobody can fuck with her. And so I want them to get into that. And what I mean by that is a darker version of what you see in the Sherlock Holmes movies with Robert Downey Jr. when he's breaking you like chest to palm and all this stupid ass shit. And like, I'm going to hit you here and you're not going to be able to breathe and all that type of shit. I hope they get into that. But anyway, so Robert Pattinson is my number 3. Christian Bale is my number 4. And number 5, Val Kilmer.
I hate you so much.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck.
You didn't wait. You didn't have
I hate your fucking
guts. You didn't have Val Kilmer is number 5.
Val Kilmer. I said before, Batman Forever is very near and dear.
You didn't have Michael Keaton.
I'll expand on it. If you've ever seen Tombstone, Doc Holliday is just Batman in the West. He's just Batman in the West. He's very much that. If you've ever seen Tombstone, and that's all Val Kilmer did, and he kind of did that a little. He didn't get to bring that as
don't
much.
Touch me, dog. No, don't touch me, dog. No, it's cool. No, don't touch me.
But
it's cool.
I enjoyed him.
Can I go next?
Hey, Keen, don't touch me. It's good. You my nigga and all, but don't touch me.
I'm next. Can I go?
Yeah.
Number 1, Michael fucking Keaton, cocksuck. So what Keane was just talking about as far as a darker version of Sherlock Holmes. The Tim Burton movies, other than a little bit in Batman Returns, aren't really dark per se, as much as they're weird. Kind of weird in a dark way as far as like shit that you haven't really seen, so it's a little off-putting, I guess, until you get to Penguin, which is just kind of like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is happening here? He is a tactician, like full blown. Like when you see the way that he goes against any of his enemies, he's really studying them, and he really picks up, especially psychologically, on them. And I think that it's almost the best version of that kind of Batman that has been put to film. The thing is, like the detective thing in the Tim Burton Batman movies don't really work because all of the villains are pretty fucking loud and abrasive. He doesn't really have to go figure out who the bad guy is in any of the movies. They're like on TV doing shit. So it's just kind of the way the movies kind of ended up. But the way that he defeats them is very much, you could tell there's an intelligence there, and he's working by himself. Alfred is there. He kind of helps out with some shit, but he's not doing things for him. Michael Keaton's Batman stands alone. He's a lone wolf fucking with his smarts, overcoming anything. And you could see the amount of work and time and preparation he takes before he goes and fucks around with any of it. And I love his interactions with Catwoman and with I just think he does an amazing job of that. And I think his Bruce Wayne is actually fairly decent too, even if it's a little weird, not necessarily playboyish, right? Number 2, this was the hardest one for me, and I'm just going to fucking go out. It's Robert Pattinson. And the reason I'm saying it's Robert Pattinson as far as number 2, the rage, the aspect of Batman that is a psycho, I think they nailed it. He needs to be scary. And this is the scariest version of Batman. And I like it. There is this element of like, you don't quite know how far he's going to go, until Selena Kyle kind of shows up in the movie and he can kind of see the way he needs to be different than what it is that she's doing. So it's almost like he learns from her in what not to do to a certain degree. But there's a certain limit in the movies where you're kind of like, he might go the all way. And also, probably the coldest moment of any Batman movie ever that happened, and I give Robert Pattinson credit for, Alfred got blown the fuck up with a bomb. He's laid out in the hospital, comes out of his coma, looks across with loving eyes to his boy. Hey, man, I love you here. Why'd you lie to me? Not a fucking moment of like, I hope you're okay. Why the fuck you lied to me?
I did like. I did like.
Fucking cold. Okay. Number
he's
3.
alive. Like, what are we doing? He's alive. He's fine.
Yeah. Okay. The motherfucker's laid out. I'm sorry. All right. Number 3, Kevin Conroy. Enough has been said. He should be number 1 on this list. I just wanted to give it to somebody. I wanted to give the first 2 to live action ones, even though the same way I feel about Mark Hamill is arguably the best Joker. Just that laugh, man. Woo. Yeah. Number 4, Ben Affleck. It is a tragedy that we did not get a Ben Affleck solo movie. It is a travesty. The fact that he had to meander around in all those fucking movies when it's just like we should have gave him his own thing, I just think it's something that we'll forever miss. And I think it's kind of akin to what it is we saw in Spider-Man. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
Real fast. Would you have wanted to see Ben Affleck carry Bruce Wayne for 30 minutes plus?
Yeah, I would love that because his old Bruce Wayne is amazing. He's jaded. He's a smart ass. He's fucking angry at the world. I love it. So that would be awesome. And I think we're gonna. Well, like
you're the only person whose take I'm not mad at, which is surprising as fuck. What was King talking about? King's on some bullshit. I don't know what he's talking about. But
how Michael Keaton is coming back in The Flash in Batgirl or whatever. I don't watch this show. I do know
Batgirl, but
I'm hopeful that one day Ben Affleck gets his return, akin like what it is we're hoping Andrew Garfield gets, because he deserves more than those movies gave to him. Right? Is the way I hope Ben Affleck comes back. But he was supposed to direct it, everything. It just didn't work out. I still want to know the full story behind that.
And the concept for the movie was fucking great, fucking perfect.
Yeah,
it was Batman, Deathstroke.
It was going to be great.
The game, and I love that.
It would have been great, and especially if he directed, or even if Matt Reeves, because I know he was kind of going around. Like that could have been amazing. And then number 5, Val Kilmer. I love Val Kilmer. It was hard for me not to react when you were talking about Val. Val's my fucking guy.
You hated on
Val's my guy. I love Doc Holliday. He's amazing in Heat.
Why did
Val
you hate on me there?
Hold on, I wasn't. I was shitting. Why was I shitting on you? No, because
Val Kilmer.
I wasn't shitting on Val. I've never shit on Val Kilmer.
You did.
You did when I named James. Am I?
No.
I think you did just because you didn't have Keaton on your list.
Right. I was upset that Keaton wasn't on your 5.
Because it's like, oh, that's your 5.
Like Christian Bale should not be on anybody's top 5. I'm just throwing it out there right now. That fucking voice eliminates you. It just eliminates you. Okay, it's just bad. Not to mention, look, the Playboy bullshit with Christian Bale. Anybody really buying it? Like, as much as the Russian ballet thing was like a dope scene, he just looks like he's uninterested, which I know that's part of the Bruce Wayne thing, but he just doesn't carry it enough for me to make it work. The best version of his Bruce Wayne is when he's old and kind of decrepit, like, and even with that, I got just issues with those movies. Val Kilmer, absolutely number 5.
Dark Knight Rises version. That's interesting. Go ahead.
No, but that's what I said. I can't have him in it because it's the worst of the goddamn movies. His old ass with Selena Kyle fucking running around. Who the fuck is scared of her ass?
All right, let me go.
All right, James.
All right, so number 1, Michael Keaton. We already talked about him enough. Number 2, Kevin Conroy. We already talked about him enough. Number 3, Ben Affleck. Already talked about him enough. Number 4, Val Kilmer. We already talked about him enough. Number 5, Robert Pattinson. Only reason why I put Pattinson number 5 is because it's one film and it just came out and I need to see where the fuck it goes. Like, but it just came out.
Was Christian Bale not in your top 5? Christian Bale was not in your top 5?
He's like 5 with them.
Yes! He's not in the top 5.
No, it's just because like the
you told your 5, Christian Bale wasn't there. That's all I need to know.
I like your list a lot, James.
I do. I really like your list.
I like your list a lot, James.
That's the best thing you've ever done on this pod.
I think this is your best pod ever.
I do. I think I'm just talking about unequal opinions. I think this is your best unequal
my
opinions.
best pod ever was dispelling that whole Kristaps Porzingis trade. That was my favorite moment on the pod ever. Even though he's doing well for y'all, and I'm happy for him.
I'm saying just unequal opinions though. Just
we're just on unequal opinions.
That's fine.
You be doing good on ASOS every other episode, so it's cool. Reese, it's your turn. Give us your. I
can't be like taking no heat from you, and then I'm looking at this shit at the same time, fam. This is pissing me off.
Hey, you guys are gonna.
You didn't have nothing to buy into in the first place with that. Let's stop it, bro.
You said what?
Hey, let's keep it the Batman, people.
For you on the first place.
The Batpod.
Huh?
Yeah, Batpod only. Batpod only.
Yeah, fuck the sports.
I'm trying to understand.
I come here to get away from it.
All right,
we talked beforehand,
but it's all in my face, man. Why is Khalil Mack in the Chargers jersey?
Okay.
I don't get it.
Okay. All right. Top 5, Reese.
Top 5 is Kevin Conroy. The new white boy. What was his name?
Robert
Twilight boy.
You better put some motherfucking respect on Pat's name. Don't do that bullshit. Fuck off. Don't do that bullshit.
I know.
Don't do that bullshit. Have you seen Lighthouse, nigga? Have you seen Good Times, man? Get the fuck out. Don't fuck with Rob Pat. Don't fuck that. Huh?
Hey, dog, wait.
Is it available streaming somewhere?
I think it's on HBO Max.
Good Times?
I think so. Well, it's Good Time. No S, right?
Right. Wait. So real fast, Kevin Conroy. Let's not disrespect the legend that is Kevin Conroy, who voiced Batman through video games. The animated series started in '92, all the way through 2018. Let's not do that. Kevin Conroy is the legitimate Batman all throughout, quintessential. We'll go ahead and go to probably Michael Keaton is number 2. Robert Pattinson's number 3. Kevin O'Mara, who picked up in the New 52 Batman.
Trash.
Right? Animated shit.
Trash.
I'm sorry, what you say?
Trash. That's
I'm
stupid.
glad when
Wait.
I'm
fucking
so
terrible.
glad.
What the fuck
I'm
are you
so
talking
glad
about?
it's my segment. I'm so glad it's my turn, not your turn. I'm so glad it's my
I
segment,
know we're
not your
not
turn.
talking about the understanding of somebody's turn.
Can
I ask you a question?
I'm not host. I'm not host.
Can you mute him?
I mean, I'm hosting that way, but I only mute if the host.
Who's the host? Who's the host?
Team's the host of the show.
Team, mute yourself.
Casual question.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just doing a good Reese impersonation.
Yeah. Nigga, don't do that to me.
I'm still who's the host?
Kevin O'Mara.
Trash. But go ahead. Who's your number 5?
Why trash? And I'm gonna ask you.
He's not good.
What makes him not good?
He's not good.
Team, I'm tired of your half-ass explanations. Wait, hold on, wait.
There's not been Kevin Conroy to voice Batman.
Hold on, wait, Team. I love you and I respect you. You're my guy. You're my brother. I'm tired of your half-ass explanations. You don't be saying shit when you explain shit. I'm asking you, what makes this person not shit?
He's a voice actor and he is not good as Batman. His voice is meh. It is eh. When I hear him talk, I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up. He is not the best person not named Kevin Conroy to voice Batman. Jensen Ackles is fucking better than him. And he was the fucking Red Hood. Fuck out of here.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy?
You agree with it. You agree with it.
Hey, wait. It's really not lost on me that you have grays in your beard. You're an old man. Get out of here. You're past your prime. Get out of here, brother, man. It's good. Hey, okay. Man. Hey, we'll listen to you for a second. You're out of here. You're out of here. Kevin O'Mara, number 4. Appreciate you, bro.
Who's your number 5?
That's a Michael Keaton already?
Yes. Yeah, unfortunately.
That's a Michael Keaton again? Because it's better. Hey, wait, hold on. And I'll say this, because Michael Keaton voiced Batman in the video games in the 90s, and he didn't get credit for it. And the first couple of iterations of Batman and Robin, Batman, what was the other one that he did that was solo? The one that we talked about, Me and You, 1992 shit. He did,
animated series?
Huh?
What, you talking about animated series?
Not the animated series, but the shit that came.
Fuck. I forget the name.
But he did stand-in Batman shit when no one else would do it with WB Studios was Michael Keaton. He did it for the video games.
Okay, so you're gonna go the lazy route and not pick a number 5, basically.
I'm sorry. What you say one more time?
You gonna go the lazy route and not pick a number 5?
I'm sorry. My lazy route did research. You never knew that.
No, I didn't care to know that.
I'm sorry. You would never known that had I not said it.
I didn't. Oh, it's not. I don't think it'll come up.
Would you have said it had I not?
Can I say one thing?
Team, real fast.
I'm gonna say one thing. So I'm just gonna give a moment. Christian Bale is by far the best actor to ever play Batman, but he's not the best Batman, and that's my only issue with Christian Bale. Is that like, and also as far as just a Batman, as far as a character, how much help do you need? I think Keem probably said it better than I've ever heard anybody explain it ever, and I think it was Keem that said it, which is that it almost feels as, I'm not gonna blame Nolan for this, but it feels as though this version of Batman just wants to be 007. Like, it's just, yo, how many gadgets can I use to do shit? He's never really detective anything. He shows up with a tool. Hey, Lucius told me I could use this thing. And I can do this. And he's just, it's like no real detective skills. It's just like, what's the new gadget? You basically just call him quartermaster.
You said like Batman didn't need to figure out shit because he already knew.
Well, but I think that's a difference between if the villain is trying to be like over the top compared to Keaton still showed that he was smart. I've yet to really realize if Christian Bale's Batman is smart. And I don't think anybody can point to anything to tell me that he's smart.
That's
right. Like that. I think that's it. All right. And I'm going to ask these guys to unmute so I can.
Wait, so real fast. I understand what you're saying. Real fast. I understand exactly what you're saying. You had to show some type of intelligence, right? The Batman 1992, Batman 1989, right? It was a villain. The problem was that it was a Batman that had never been faced with any type of controversy whatsoever, right? He never faced any type of villains, whatever. So he had to figure out how to topple this person who was doing whatever to the city. And somebody who was who had to topple somebody who was trying to take over I'm sorry, and I'm drunk at this point in time, so please excuse me. But somebody was trying to take over like a political campaign, right? So you'll do damage on both ends of the spectrum. Fam, Michael Keaton was the guy for so many years, and that's why they're even bringing him back. Then I'm bringing back Christian Bale. Then I'm bringing back Danny Ocean. Then I bring back fucking Val Kilmer, who was in the fucking movie with fucking Jamie Foxx. Not doing none of that.
Val Kilmer can't anymore because of what happened health wise, but
because yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, no,
you know every fucking thing. You ain't know that though, huh? You know every fucking thing. You ain't know Val Kilmer had health issues, motherfucker. That's why
Reese is
a great actor, and he ain't been gained a lot of weight. His last great movie.
Team was quick to jump on the shit.
Great movie. But if you watch him in like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which is a great fucking movie, then he's gained weight, motherfucker, and so it's because of his health issues. And you would know that if you knew shit about Batman, but apparently you don't know shit about Batman. You just know shit about the fucking video game.
He had throat cancer. He had throat cancer, and he's officially cancer-free.
Keem, I want to go to neck rolling. Don't you roll your neck at me ever again. Keem, you roll your neck at me ever again, I swear to God, you and I are going to have some issues. If you ever roll your neck and do your shit at me ever again and raise your voice and do all the shit, you and I are going to have some issues.
This is highly disturbing.
Hey, don't do that shit ever no more.
Keem, it's cancer-free.
I don't care how far you are in the South. Don't ever do your neck at me and do your shit and do none of that. Don't do that no more.
I feel like Reese actually really likes rolling his neck. That's why he kept going over.
He did.
It's like, we got it the first time.
And he's like,
he's
trying to get that crap out right now.
Hey, look, he's doing it again.
He's trying to get that crap out right now.
Hey, Keith,
all right,
don't do that to me no more.
The key point here to me is that Val Kilmer is now cancer-free.
We heard you. It's good. We're good.
That shit is important.
It is important.
I have a lot of cancer in the family.
If you haven't seen the documentary that just got released last year about him, it's well worth watching.
He would have been in a lot more films.
Where's it at?
Wait, can I say real quick to all three of you guys?
I'll take a look.
Wait.
Okay.
I fuck with you guys. I love what you guys do. I love the pod, all the pods that you guys have going. I tune in every week. You guys are fucking phenomenal. I tune in just to watch you guys do your shit. I spread the shit to people that I know. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. Like I said, you guys don't. When I first met K-Dot as an introduction, we was arguing every fucking week. I love what you guys do. Please continue to do it. I rack up the numbers. I brag about what you guys do. I promise you. I brag about what you guys do and the growth and things that are possible. I take that to my team and tell everybody, yo, this is possible. We can do thousands of shit per week. These guys are doing it. These guys are doing a great job. You can keep your integrity intact. I just want to be say that I'm blessed to be a part of the shit you guys are doing. You guys are fantastic, man. Keep up with shit. Keem, don't ever roll your neck at me.
Appreciate it.
I will say this, objectively, Reese is a lot better at rolling his neck than Keem.
I know I wasn't doing it.
You're practicing. I just
It hurt when I did it.
My neck's too thick to be doing any of that. Bro. I can't. Oh, and the movie Val is on Amazon Prime. If you do want to learn about Val Kilmer,
I'll check it out.
It's actually really. And Good Time is also on Hulu, and I think on Prime, but you had to pay so much for it.
Okay, hey man, check my shit, man.
Plug your shit.
We're doing this. We're on the pod every week. I'm naked twice a month. Do your shit. Bang bang. Do your shit.
Wow, I just see how he looks now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rough.
He went through it.
Yes, he did. Are you taking us out, Keem?
Yep. This was a Ryan.
Stand firm, bitches. I'm not relenting.
I just saw Ryan's check.
I just saw it too. Piece of shit.
All right, so this was the Batpod. For everybody who stuck with us this long, we thank you guys. We're fucking comic book nerds and shit. So just leave some comments. What are your thoughts, your rankings on Batman, the best Batman films, all that good 32. Shit. Thank you guys for watching.